Hey everybody, it's Tracy from Downward Dog Rising. I'm going to give you a hip release workout tonight and also for lumbar back, lower back stability to make you strong so you don't get back pain, and will also release your hips. So if that sounds like a good workout for you today, please join me and let's begin. We're going to start off lying on our back with our knees bent, feet flat. I'm going to call that the constructive rest position. So once you lay down, open collarbones wide, lengthen those ribs down together. Feet are going to be hip distance apart. And I want you to just think of your two hip bones pulling close together to activate transversus abdominis. And then I want you to just lift up, really create length through your low back. And then you're going to come straight down to the mat. Abdominals keep pulling tight to your back. Exhale, inhale down. Bring hips down so they hit simultaneously. 8 more, straight lift up, straight back to mat. 7 and 6, straight back to mat. 5, hips just lift up together and come right back to mat. 4, widen across front of collarbones, shoulders down and back. 3, feel those ribs pull together in front. 2 more, those ribs draw together in front. 1 more, feel those ribs pull together. Bring pelvis straight back to mat. Turn to your side. Now from here, I'm going to have you take both legs out straight, and we're going to lift up, and then I'm going to have you do scissors, forward and back, engage gluteals, keep length through each side of your waistline. 10, 9, keep lengthening. 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4, and 3, 2, gently come up. Take your top foot, you're going to bend the top foot, extend the bottom leg, collarbones wide. Now I want you to do tiny circles with your bottom leg. Inhale, exhale. And being careful that you don't move hips, so pelvis is totally stabilized. And 6, 5, slow with control. 4, 3, lengthen both sides of the neck, shoulders down, back. Reverse it for 10. Really small little circles. 9, focus. 8, just your leg moves. 7, control. 6, 5, and 4, and 3. 2 more. Last one. All right. Next, hands and knees. Keep this part of your back stretching long. Avoid arching through here. Abdominals just really lift up tight to your spine. And then I'm going to have you curl toes under. Keep length in spine. You're going to keep your knees really close to the mat and just hang here for a moment. We're just going to stay right here. Keep length in your back. Really feel like top of head stretches away from your tailbone. Keep lengthening. And 5, 4, feel your core. Blades anchored down, sides of back. 3, 2 more. And gently bring knees down. We're going to switch. Come all the way down to your mat. It's going to be on your side. Stretch your legs out, collarbones wide. After you lift both legs straight up into the air, I want you to scissor forward and back, forward and back. Now as you're doing this, pelvis doesn't move. Keep really stable. Inhale, exhale. Both sides of your waistline stretch long, ribs lengthen apart. 8. So you're just moving legs again, sides of waist long. 7. Breathe in, breathe out. 6. And 5, stretch legs long. 4, shoulder blades down, back. 3, stretch and reach. 2 more. All right. Now from here, you're going to take top leg, bend it. Keep shoulders relaxed, wide across shoulders, chest. And what I want you to do here, you're going to take your bottom leg only. And now the only thing that moves, keep length through each side of your waist. The only thing that moves is your bottom leg in tiny baby circles. Breathe in, breathe out. 8, control, 7, 6, 5, keep open across chest, 4, and 3, 2, reverse directions, breathe in, breathe out, 10, 9, outer hip, inner thigh, 8, 7, 6, really tighten in, 5, 4, and 3, and 2, all right. Next, I'm gonna have you come up. This time, I'm gonna have you do a table. So you're gonna press arms into the mat. Your knees are just gonna stay right over your ankles. You're gonna lift pelvis up into the air. Keep the knees in line over your second toes. Chest is open, neck is long. Press hips to sky, engage gluteals. Stay here and breathe. Open shoulders, chest. Keep the length in your spine. Glutes are actively engaged. Scoop in. And just hang out here. When you align your joints, your joint angles, you can just hang out and it becomes effortless when you find the right points where everything's working together. Just breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly just come all the way down. Okay, so what I want you to do next, I'm gonna have you hips. We need to open the hips. We need to stretch the hips. So these can get really tight in here in the socket. What I want you to do, we're gonna do fire log, Agni Stambhasana. You're gonna bend one knee, and I'm super tight here, so I'm not gonna look like a yogi with knees totally down to the ground. You're gonna do knee in line with ankle, and it's okay if you bend the knee a little bit. We're trying to align the knee and the ankle. And what I want you to do here is flex your foot to protect your knee joint and also the integrity of your hip joint. So you flex the foot. Now you're gonna take the other leg and you're flexing your foot, you're placing your foot on top of the other knee. And this is what I'm talking about. This is the start where one hip is way up high. You're gonna flex both feet, try to root down, sink down into your pelvis, and we're just gonna go with it. And the key is not to resist up here. Like this tells us, oh, it's so tight, oh, I can't take this, this hurts. So what you do, you just calmly start breathing, focus inward, and some of the resistance just goes away now. Just breathe into it. You'll see the resistance because I'm not fighting from up here. I realize if I slow down and just breathe, it gets a little easier. So you're just breathing in, just making it get a little easier as you breathe. So you're rooting down, flex both feet. That creates a little more space there in the socket. We're just working with it. Maybe you'll stretch up, lengthen up, up, up. You'll feel hip release a little more. And then gently bring arms down. And we're just going to stay with it. Letting it go. start to feel it give more. Really sink into your sits bones once you feel it give a little more. Press top of head to sky. Think of space opening up along sides of ribs, ribs out of hips. And you'll feel things adjusting. One more deep inhale. And gently we're going to release that side. Maybe you'll just extend legs in front for a second, let those knees release. And we're going to switch sides now. So opposite leg, you're going to flex your foot, bend leg in, Agni Sthupasana on the other side. So now root down, so you're not leaning into either half of your pelvis. We want to stay equal. Now we're going to take that other foot. So you're going to bend that knee, shin parallel. And we're going to place the other foot. And again, notice that knee is up there, that hip is tight, and it's okay. It's where I'm at. I'm starting right now from where I'm at. My mind is starting to resist it right now, so I acknowledge my mind is resisting because it feels tight and it's uncomfortable. And rather than fight it, just start to breathe deeper right now. Take your focus inward and just start to slow down the breath, bringing deep inhales way down, lower lobes of lungs. You could breathe into your belly, you could breathe into ribs, sides, back of ribs. And while you're focusing on the breath, you're going to notice something. Muscles start to release. Flex both feet. Create a little more open spaciousness right in the socket there. Evenly weighted through the bottom of your pelvis. Rising up, stretch that spine tall, top of head to sky. When you rise up, feel bottom of pelvis sink deeper under you into your mat. Keep lengthening head away from tailbone and just stay here. Focus inward on the breath. You're relaxing, easing into it. It's like you're surrendering to your mind. And when you surrender to your mind, the resistance of the body follows. Slowing down your breath. Relaxing into it. You'll notice how things have a way of just releasing when you surrender. Keep the breath slow and steady. Relax. Ease into it. Another deep inhale here. And one more deep inhale. And gently release. All right, good job. So we're going to take that leg down. And I'm just going to have you do a little extension next. I'm going to have you bring hands together. I want you to press your palms to the side. Stretch up. Gently lean back a little bit. Now stretch back up. Breathing in. And then exhale. 2 more. Breathe in, release, exhale. And one more time. And then release, exhale. All right, come all the way down to your mat. Take one ankle. You're crossing it over the knee. Feel how head lengthens away from your tailbone. You're going to float both legs up. Flex your feet. Take hands through the space. You can either hold behind the back of your thigh, or you can come in a little closer, and then you just pull inward as this elbow presses this knee out. So I'm going to have you relax the bottom foot and flex the top one, getting a little deeper into that hip. You're going to feel your gluteals stretching too. When our glutes get super tight, they affect our hips and our low back. They throw our pelvis out of alignment. Flex your foot now and hug from the hamstring area and just gently press that inner thigh outward. And just feel more space open up in the low back now. Ease the tension. The glutes can get super tight and you don't even realize how tight they are till you stretch them. You feel that burning sensation as the tension eases out. Gently press that elbow against inner thigh. Little lateral rotation through that thigh. Spine is long. One more deep inhale here. And gently release. All right. So now I want you to take both legs in and then just kind of roll those shoulders up, down, back, away from ears. Relax them. Now pull abdominal wall into your spine, elongate upwards, and slowly just allow top of head to float up as your core draws deep into your spine. Use your abdominals to lift so you don't tense your neck out. Gently lower down. Create a long capital letter C. Lengthen, scoop abdominal wall to your back. So you're relaxing the neck. Use your core to lift up. And then slowly come back down. Okay, let's switch sides now. You're going to take left ankle above right knee. Flex your foot. Feel the entire spine lengthen on your mat. You're going to lift up, flex the bottom foot, reach hands under the bottom thigh, and then I want you to hug in, gently use your elbow, press that leg out. We're going to start with this position first. This bottom foot is flexed right now. Breathe. Getting into that lateral hip and glute. Feet are flexed. Relax the back into the mat. We're going to do a slight variation. Relax your bottom foot. Now go a little deeper towards shin. Not on knee. You're going to go this way below the knee. And then what I want you to do here, use your elbow to gently guide that inner thigh out. And you're going to change the muscle fibers that you're working. So bottom foot is relaxed, top foot is flexed. And breathe. Just hugging that shin in. Use that lateral, that elbow to push into the inner thigh. Sometimes you'll feel different glutes are tighter on one side than the other. Glute medius, glute maximus, glute minimus. Our piriformis is in there really deep. So now we're going to change the emphasis one more time. Flex your bottom foot. Switch hands to behind the thigh. Use that elbow now to guide that knee outward even more. Keep spine long and mat. Both feet are flexed. Changing the muscle fiber slightly. Spine is long. And it wraps around the side of the hip. Horizontally across your glute. Elbow presses into that inner thigh. Breathe. One more deep inhale. And gently release. Good job. Now we're just going to hug in. And again, abdominals draw in. Reach through the body to the front of the spine. And really elongate the top of the head away by tightening abdominals in. So you're not going to strain the neck. Feel that low back just lengthens into the mat. Lengthen. And then gently come in. We're going to take the bottoms of our feet together. We're going to do recline butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. So I'm going to have you take the bottoms of your feet together. Spine is long on mat. And then I'm going to have you just relax your shoulders. Palms are going to reach up to sky. And as you're lying here on the mat, I want you to feel the two hip bones pull across, they narrow, and then when you do that, visualize the two hip bones coming across, and just feel the back of your pelvis widen across the mat underneath you. And I just want you to keep visualizing the two hip bones coming together in the front, and allow the back of the pelvis to widen into the mat underneath you. Feel the breath go into the body and feel it as it exits the body. Softening your sternum, chest rises, ribs expand, and then chest also falls as ribs pull around and together in front. We want to use our true respiratory muscle, our diaphragm, because it's efficient for breathing. It's what it's designed to do. A pressure vacuum is created so that the air can go into the lungs. Intra-abdominal pressure increases. The area between abdomen and thorax, we breathe in, pressure increases. Air goes into the lungs. And then when we exhale, It's like that pressure, the diaphragm comes out, and then the air goes out of the lungs. So it's a dome-shaped muscle. Tension will melt out of your body when you do respiratory breathing. One more deep inhale here. And it should feel like your sternum released a bit, as well as hips released through the front there. Gently bring legs in. Now you're going to have your knees go in a straight line over your hip joints. And I just want you to do 5 circles. I'm going to call this a hip opener. 3 more. 2, so you're just keeping pelvis stable on your mat. And then reverse directions, coming back the other way. 3 more. And 2. Last one, good job. All right, next I'm gonna have you roll onto your stomach. And let me see if there's space. Okay, I can't do frog on my stomach. It's impossible. My body doesn't do that. So I'm going to do half a frog, and maybe if you're like me, you'll appreciate doing half a frog because the angle of my knees rotating in a certain direction, they just don't do it at the same time. So I'll show you. You're going to bend just one leg. Your hip bones are on the mat. And you're going to just bend one leg, knee in line with hip, knee in line with ankle. And your hip bones stay firm. They hug into the mat. This other leg is just straight back behind you. And what you do, you're just going to gently bring your forehead down to the mat and just relax. And if this is too much pressure on your inner knee, where the medial meniscus is, you could take like a rolled up blanket or towel and you can elevate it up a baby bit like that, so there's no pressure on the inside of the knee. So we're just going to stay here for a moment and breathe. I figured out I could do half a frog since I can't do both at the same time. My hips are too tight. So just kind of sink into the mat. You still have equal weight through your pelvis. You're not leaning either way to the side. And now I want you to focus on breathing into the back of your ribs, rib cage. And create some space between the back of your ribs and your low back. And you're going to feel the hip of the straight leg lengthen into the mat. And again, use the breath to open and stretch. Ribs apart. Spine is long. Feel the back of those ribs expand, low back lengthens. And you can almost just start to relax into your mat. Breathing in and breathing out. I'm not going to stay here long in case anyone has knee issues. The more you stay with your knee bent backward, there's more chance of bothering the meniscus in the knee, so let's not do that. So from here, I'm going to have you just slide that leg in. Wiggle hips side to side for a sec. I think I'll turn to do the other side. Let me turn around. So we're going to, whatever leg you didn't do the other one. And I actually tore this meniscus more than once. So I'm going to go easy. I'm not going to get up and grab a yoga blanket, so I might not bend at all. I'll see. I'm going to slide. So you have one leg straight behind you. And I think I'm going to stop right there. I don't want to go any further than that. I already feel this hips tighter. I'm going to keep my hips straight across, hip bone to hip bone. This other leg just lengthens straight back, and I'm going to relax forehead and back of hands. Now see if this is working for you. Single leg frog. If you can get a little higher and do a straight line from knee, 90 degree, knee hip, hip to knee to ankle, you can. If you feel pressure on the inside of the knee, you're easing back out of it. Flex your ankle, now so opens your hip, protecting hip and knee. Head lengthens away from tailbone. And just stay here for a moment. If you ever get pain on the inside of the knee, then come out of it sooner. There's good pain and bad pain, and it's important to distinguish between the two. Good pain gets better with time, and it's tense, but the tension eases out and it starts to open and release. Bad pain continues to get worse with time. So when you're in a position and it keeps getting worse and worse, and oh, I can't take it, that means you need to get out of that position. So there's good pain and bad pain. Maybe feel that inner thigh, groin stretch of the bent knee leg. Maybe feel the front of the hip flexor, quad, and the leg that's straight. Think tailbone long, head away from tailbone. And I don't want to stay here too long, just in case anyone's knees get irritated. So slowly you're going to extend that leg out. Wiggle hips side to side. And then if you take your hands close, I'm going to have you do something to stretch your chest and shoulders. I'm going to have you draw the elbows in. And I want you to pull your breastbone forward and just do a baby lift away from the mat, keeping your shoulders away from the ears, and then gently come back down. So I'm going to have you just slowly stretch, keep neck long, and gently come back in. You can even take hands back a little more. Collarbones wide. So I'm getting you to strengthen your back. Gently come back down. 2 more. Gently stretch head away from tailbone. Coming back in. 1 more. Opening shoulders, chest. Now from here, take your elbows directly under the shoulders. And then just extend the arms long for seal. So we're going to extend the arms out a little bit. And what I'm trying to avoid is the shoulders lifting, or I'll go up a little higher. The low back squishes together. So you want to keep shoulders down and back. Keep length in the low back. And we're going to strengthen. Just stay here for a moment. Abdominals pulling into the spine. We're going to call this one seal. Feel how blades just draw down each side of your back. And When you align and use the breath, you literally can just hang out for a while and not really feel like you're doing anything. We're using our joint angles and we're supporting ourselves. You'll find a point where you can just chill out. Stay there and breathe. You're going to feel those triceps working too. Strengthening our mid-back. Creating length in our spine. Abdominals draw in. If you did feel anything in your low back, you'd always come down closer to the mat. You might feel triceps shaking. Let's take one more deep inhale. And then gently you're going to come down to your mat, settle in, let the hips release. So I'm going to have you stretch the front of your hip, and then we're going to do a rest pose. So I'm going to have you slowly push, hand against, foot against hand, resist, and then I'm going to have you gently flex your foot. You're going to feel a stretch front of shoulder, getting the front of that hip to release. Hold and breathe, relax. Good job. And again, we're opening shoulder, chest. Our joint angles are aligned. One more deep inhale here. And release. Good job. Reach back. Grab your other foot. Maybe you'll just press your foot into your hand first as you slowly lift the thigh away from your mat. Maybe you'll relax your forehead or back of arm or hand. Breathe into the front of your hip. Tailbone long, scoop in, feel front of hip release. Gently you're going to lift, flex your foot. Slowly elevate that thigh away from mat, foot is flexed. Feel the front of your shoulder, collarbone wide. And just stay here and hang for a moment. Breathe. Open shoulder, chest, head away from tailbone. Deep inhale, deep exhale. One more deep inhale. And gently release. Now we're going to take our hands close, right under the shoulders, abdominals tighten in. Press up the hands and knees. And I'm going to have you just go straight back, hips over heels. Because of that little single frog stretch, I'm not going to go on tops of feet. I'm going to protect my knees more by just curling toes under. So some of the pressure goes down into my feet rather than all of it here. So do what feels right for your body. And then you're just going to slowly stretch back. Your sits bones go straight behind you and pull your sternum forward and through. Relax your forehead into the mat. And just feel like you're being stretched in two different directions. Feel the stretch across upper mid-back. The bones you sit on, pull them back behind you. Create force in two different directions. Hips pull back behind you, breastbone pulls in front of you. Stretching in two different directions, and breathe. Feel a stretch across middle low back. Widening, increasing the distance between back of ribs and low back. That lumbodorsal fascia. One more deep inhale here. Slowly walk hands in. Gently press up. All right, good job. I'm going to walk our feet through. And I'm going to have you, let's lie down and do a little shavasana. So I'm just going to have you extend arms and legs. And then what I want you to do is just let your entire spine settle, sink into your mat. Breathing should feel more natural right now than when you first started. Feeling calm, feeling centered and relaxed. Wiggle your toes, your feet, your fingers, your hands. All right. Extend arms overhead. Stretch head away from tailbone. Feel that length and spaciousness in your spine. And turn to one side. And then once you're on your side, just gently press, come all the way up. We're just going to cross our feet, ankles I should say. And then hopefully your hips feel a little bit better. And that concludes our practice for today. So thanks everybody for joining. Breathing in. Feeling calm, centered, and peaceful, tranquil. We took the time, did a hip release. It also stretches our back out too. So look forward to having you join me again. I'm grateful. The light within me honors and acknowledges the light within you. So take care, everybody. Peace. See you soon. Bye. Take care.